What's poppin', y'all? Looks like Plaqueboymax got himself into some ish with a 144 pixel camera at that. During the Super Bowl, a lot of things were going on, a lot of different events, but one of those things that Plaqueboymax was doing is he was at the Twitch headquarters, which is in San Francisco. The Super Bowl was in the Bay Area. San Francisco is very close by. So he was at the Twitch headquarters, and one thing that I do like Twitch has been doing in the past couple of years, I think largely because of Kai Cenat, is they started to tap in with their streamers a little bit more, something they ignored for years. People weren't able to get their attention. But he did an undisclosed ad and was shilling gambling to his audience, so I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Anything. I have $3,500 and I will let you guys spend it. But we need to spend it wisely. I want to make my money, okay? Now, Kalshi working all 50 states. W. Let me get a W, Kalshi. It working all 50 states. All of them. Everywhere. It's lit. Make sure y'all get on here. Now, let's go to a couple places. We're going to go to culture. Who will perform at the big game? I'm going to be honest. There's no way Cardi B don't perform. There is no way, gang. There is no way. There is no way, gang. Bro, what is y'all talking about, bro? Nah, y'all is chatting, bro. Now you don't. Okay, so look. Hold on. I gotta try to pull up chat. How am I cloned? What are y'all talking about?
So a bunch of people were complaining about the ad, and he was just hitting people with permaban, or I don't know if it was permabans off of it, but he was suspending people in the chat. So he's in the Twitch offices doing this ad. A bunch of people have been getting sponsorships from this company. This company, Kalshi, it is a legal company in 50 states. But the problem is, this is just straight gambling. It might even be worse than gambling, because the difference is with gambling, like a casino, people know, okay, yeah, I'm going in to gamble. With this stuff, it's a quote-unquote prediction market. So people, dumb people that is, which is the majority of people, they feel like they have an edge. They're like, oh, nah, I know how this stuff works. I'm going to make me a bag. Okay. And you got to think, too, that Plaqueboymax's audience, they know what his audience is. And look where these ads are being distributed to, especially for this company. They are targeting people that have young audiences, people that are just, it's like, it's death by 1,000 cuts. So someone's like, yo, I'm gonna throw $3 in here, but it's millions of people doing it. And this company they've been throwing bags at people. Now, the biggest problem with this is that he doesn't disclose it's an ad. Now, under FCC, you have to disclose if something is an ad. A lot of people don't, and well, not so much anymore, but for a long time in the beginning of like influencer marketing, people didn't, which is considered somewhat of a deceptive practice after this rule came in, because they're saying that the consumer deserves to know if a post is paid or not. If it's not a paid post, then they know, okay, this person from their own volition is choosing to promote this product. However, if it's paid, okay, there's a financial incentive. So that's one part of it, but also it's the gambling part of it. So XQC, who's somebody that really took a lot of hits for this, he reacted to this, and I'm gonna play you guys this clip right now.
Who will perform at the big game? I'm gonna be honest. There's no way Cardi B don't perform. There is no way, gang.
Guys, I think people have been awfully quiet though. Chat, the anti-Gamba crowd has been very quiet. Again, the CEO doing a Gamba stream for the opening of Snoop Dogg's casino, or the fuck, right? Nobody's saying anything about that. All the people doing massive Gamba sponsor, some undisclosed, some absolutely just illegal, and then this undisclosed ad on Twitch. Where the anti-Gamba squad at?
So XQC is somebody who has been paid $15 million for one stream. Yes, he admitted it. He got paid $1 million for a stream to do Call of Duty Warzone, and that's because their budget, they were almost like tired their budget. He hadn't yet done a stream for them, and they said, hey, look, we'll give you the rest of our budget. We've paid out everybody else for our marketing budget. Just do a stream. I think he did 10 to 12 hours. They gave him an M. But for the gambling stream, he said the most he's ever been paid was 15 M's, and this is likely for the gambling company stake. So in this scenario, what happened was there was a big fissure that happened happened, a big crack and separation that happened in Twitch years ago, and it was because of gambling. So people like Pokimane, people like Mizkif, who have now switched up, people like Hassan, people like Valkyrie. I don't know if Valkyrie was like very, very staunch on it, but a bunch of people were saying, hey, we are against this. At the time, Trainwrecks TV, he was one of the biggest streamers, but also this guy was making hand over fist money. A bunch of people were making hand over fist money by doing sponsors for these crypto casinos, and they didn't like it. So what did they do? Pokimane and all of them, they were kind of trying to boycott Twitch, get Twitch's attention. Twitch banned it. So they banned Stake, Roobet, any other Rain. I don't know if RainBet's allowed. Regardless, they banned all of these things. And this is what led to the creation of Kick, because they said, yo, how are we going to promote this? So Trainwrecks teamed up with Eddie, who's the founder of Stake, and they created Kick, which is rivaling Twitch now. We got to give credit. Kick has done an incredible job at bringing in streamers and sustaining itself. Like, they did a better job than the richest man damn near in history, Microsoft, did with Mixer. Like that was a gargantuan failure. And they didn't even last as long as Kick has lasted right now, and Kick is still growing. So the whole thing was these guys hate gambling, but what happened? Well, number one, CoffeeZilla lost the war on that. But over time, they started to let in DraftKings. They started to let in Prize Picks, sports betting. They're just starting to let in. And now when you got Kalshi, it's like, what's the difference? So some people may cope and say, well, you know, that one is unregulated and these are regulated and it's legal. But realistically, it's the same-ish, man. People are losing, this is gambling, people are losing hand over fist money. You could say it's like a predatory form of marketing because a bunch of people on Twitch are young and they're being targeted. I mean, dog, we saw that clip of Lil Baby's son, who was 9 or 10 years old, on an Aiden Ross stream, and he was already sports betting.
10 push-ups, let's get it in.
Bro, only if Anthony Edwards played right, he would have never had me in this situation.
Wait, you gambled?
Yes.
That's only if. You said only if. He didn't come, what you gonna do?
I want to bet for Halliburton.
All right, when this bet over with.
I'll be real, hey, OKC's gonna win.
But I got 180. I got 180 more.
Why are you sports betting?
Because I'm sports betting.
Yo, you sports bet?
Better not be.
Yo, bro!
I
better not be.
I'm already in a bad situation. I got 100.
It's over for that kid, unfortunately. Like Lil Baby was talking about, his brain is gooned out. He's, you know, touching himself 5 times a day and he can't stop. And then his son, unfortunately, is not that type of activity, but his son is sports betting at 9, 10. Like, imagine the dopamine hits you're getting from that. He's fried, the poor kid. By the time he turns 18, I don't even know how he's going to get enjoyment out of life. When you've hit highs and lows like that, I mean, you look at Trainwrecks, the guy's a billionaire, and you see him, like, his eyes are sunken in. He's frustrated. I mean, you don't see much joy coming out of him. He is rich, but like, you see him win, the amount that he wins, it would have made him ecstatic 5 years ago. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm still down. So Asmongold, who's another person that I believe has more of a right to give an opinion on this, and I'm going to explain why in a second, he says Max should be banned. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
So did he not say that he was sponsored? Like, I mean, you need to say that you're sponsored. Like, you don't have to have #ad in your title to say that you're sponsored. But if he didn't say, like, and you can just disclose it on audio, right? Or on video and say, like, yeah, I'm sponsored by this, you know, I'm partnered with Kalshi or something like that. It's very weird for him to do that. And if he got a sponsor without saying it, I mean, Twitch probably should do something about it. I like Max. I think he's entertaining, but this is something that's just, it's above either of our pay grades, right? I mean, this is a literal FCC requirement. Like, you have to follow the law.
So Asmongold's a pretty fair guy, and the reason why I'll give him a little bit more credit than XQC, I would say is the first one that got a ton of hate because he was on that side. So he was kind of on the more, I guess, progressive side of Twitch, if you want to call it that. Like, Trainwrecks was always a bit of a pariah. They were like, yo, this guy's with as balanced views as Trainwrecks has and as fair as he is, he was considered an extremist on Twitch. back in the day, which just goes to show you how much things have changed. But XQC, he was like just a normal guy. So when XQC took the sponsorship, he got so much hate. And when he went to Kick, oh my goodness, they were on his head top. But Asmongold, he's been fair and balanced. He's actually been one of the first people to go against the Ludwigs and those guys when they were hating on Aiden Ross, before Aiden Ross even took the gambling deal. So he's always welcomed new communities, but also Asmongold is one of the biggest commentators and streamers on the internet right now, and he does not have a gambling deal. If he did, he would be making hundreds of millions of dollars. He would be making significantly more money than he does right now, which is already hand over fist money. But that's why I think his assessment is more unbiased than an XQC, because he doesn't have a personal stake in having been persecuted, hated on for taking one of these deals. He didn't take one of the deals. I don't think he took a Kalshi deal either, or one of these poly market, or whatever one of these new prediction markets where our society is completely it's just going towards gambling now. He hasn't taken this. And he's saying like, yo, this is kind of grimy for Max to not disclose this. It is. I mean, it's against the law to not disclose this. But I'm not hating on Max for this. I do think that this was part of his Twitch deal. So I think Twitch told him, hey, pull up. You're going to do this little ad read. I don't know if Twitch paid him and Kalshi paid Twitch, what the deal was there. But something had been going on. And Academics is also sponsored by these guys. A ton of people, everybody's sponsored by these guys. And I'm not casting stones at them. I'm just saying you got to disclose when this is an ad. Academics, he's disclosed when it's an ad. You have to make it abundantly clear. And I do somewhat feel for the people like an XQC or a Trainwrecks that were villainized, and they were really just early. Everybody else is coming along behind the train. Now, of course, people like a Pokimane, people like a Hassan, they have not yet taken these deals and switched up. So respect to them. They stayed on their point of view and what they believe is morally right. Mizkif has switched up, but let's be real. That guy's not a real person. He's a caricature. He's an internet. He kind of drew himself into a character, and I don't know if he's like that off stream or on stream. They say he seems crazier off stream, but we don't even really take him as a real human being. So it's no surprise why he completely switched out after he got exiled by everybody else that he used to be cool with. But I'm with XQC and Asmongold here. There's no fight left against it. It's almost like when sponsors and ads were a thing on YouTube when they were first introduced. People were just getting called sellouts, this and that. And then once damn near everybody started doing them, it just became an expected thing almost. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have a sponsor? That's weird. Meanwhile, it was vice versa. So I guess that's what these guys get for being early. But the fortunate part for an XQC is, hey, you're worth several $100 million now. So being early, you got a lot of hate, but you also got the lion's share of the bread. Same with Trainwrecks. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you think this is kind of grimy, irresponsible for somebody like Plaqueboymax to do, to show something like this when it's unnecessary? Or do you just think the issue is with him not disclosing that it's an ad? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.